Unbelievable!
Hey, what's up guys? It is Mark Yoon, and today I'm bringing another hopefully exciting video. So today is Monday, April 27th, 2020, and this entire week we are going to have the theme of DLC Season 3 for Soul Calibur 6. With that being said, it's going to be different videos based around who I think is going to be in it, who probably is going to be in it, and who I want to be in it, as well as a few other videos scattered here and there. Especially, like, I have a special Necrid video coming out this week, so stay tuned for that. But I wanted to kick this video's week off with characters that I think are going to be the guests in Season 3. Now, it's hard to narrow down these characters, so I only picked 3. Well, technically 4, but you can substitute 1 or 2 because they're from the same game. And I think this is the strongest possibility of having these as a guest. These are not the characters that I necessarily want to see as guests, but these are the characters that I think the evidence points towards, and I'll get into why when we're doing the video. Firstly, I wanted to kick off this week's video with a comment that I got from Kitty Meowser Gaming, who is also a YouTuber and does great Soul Calibur content, so you should check her out at the soonest chance that you get. I will try to leave a link to her channel in the description box down below, so be sure to check that out. She commented, "I'd only care for Season 3 if we actually get some real content. This recycled BS from 5 is getting old, and to me, some of the characters like Cassandra and Tira shouldn't have been DLC to begin with. A lot of creation pieces we have received have not only been released and rehashed assets, but they are also rehashed DLC. That's just disgusting. I also don't want any more guest characters. We have enough, and there are quite a few original Soul Calibur characters that should be in the game over a guest character. More stages and more offline game modes would be a nice addition, along with more actual content for Create a Soul. Hell, even some new weapons would be a nice change of pace." I had a good conversation with her in the comment section of that video explaining my side of different things, and she reiterated her points, and I agreed with most of them. The thing I wanted to get to really quick is the reason why guest characters are important in Soul Calibur 6 isn't necessarily because they want them in there. It's because these companies pay money to cross-promote, so they literally give liquid assets to Project Soul to be able to help develop them and develop that whole season. So usually having a guest character in that season pass is the whole reason why we have that season pass in the first place, because it only goes based on the profits made from the last season pass minus what it costs to actually make everything, and then on top of that they have the guest character, which is paid for by another company to cross-promote a different game, usually a game that's recently released or an upcoming release. So since Bandai Namco does not give Project Soul too big of a budget for these things, they rely heavily on that outside sources of income, and that's the reason why we've seen a guest character in every single pack. The other stuff I've talked about before, so I'm not going to get into. This is specifically for Season 3, but I just wanted to get that out of the way and say thank you for that great comment, and let's get started, guys. So the first character that I think is maybe a shoo-in almost for Soul Calibur 6 is going to be Cloud, and from Final Fantasy VII Remake, obviously, that version. It's for a few different reasons, but mainly if you guys watched my latest video on the guest characters, I had mentioned something that was interesting, that Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy was originally meant to be a guest character in the PlayStation 2 version, but the deal was cancelled, and at the last minute he was replaced with Heihachi from Tekken. And the fact that he was originally supposed to be in the game and the game fell through, I mean the deal fell through, we don't know what those reasons for. They're always like very small reasons too. It's never usually anything big, so that they almost had the license, which means that they were considering having the character, but one little deal fell through. As we have seen, they do like to ship their characters out. We have seen Cloud in a variety of games, from Smash Brothers to Energize to I believe he was also in the PlayStation, I forget what the game's called. the PlayStation Battle Royale or something like that. It was the PlayStation game with all the characters from the PlayStation, I guess all the generations in like a fighting game. It was on PlayStation 3. I forget exactly what it was called. I have it, but I don't remember what it was called. But he has been used as a guest a lot, and Noctis was actually used as a guest in Tekken 7, which is their sister studio. So obviously, there is precedent for them to be in the game. So Cloud would actually probably be a good fit for the role. The only thing that would hold me back from saying that like he would be a desire of mine is his Buster Sword is very similar to the Great Sword that that both Nightmare and Siegfried wield. So I know he would have different gameplay, but it's just another weapon that's sort of similar, and we already have a lot of doubles up going on. But I think that because of the cross-promotion issue going on between the Final Fantasy Remake being recently released and then Soul Calibur, this being their last probably DLC pack until the next generation when they start working on whatever next game they're working on, I think it's a high likelihood chance that we're actually going to see Cloud Strife as the guest character in Season 3. And not only is there a large precedent for it, and not only has there already been talks between these companies since like Soul Calibur 2, which was like a million years ago, then he can do different things. He could utilize materia similar to how Geralt uses magic. Moves don't have to necessarily like be just with his Buster Sword. Like, he doesn't have to do Omni Slash for like his critical edge. His critical edge could also be like something with the motorcycle, since that's heavily utilized in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Similar to how Nightmare comes in on his like Shadow Horse, Cloud could do something like summoning the bike or something like that. The good thing for him would be that if we get his creation style, we'd also be able to get his outfits, hopefully his hairstyle, though I doubt that. We'd probably just get his outfit stuff. But we would have a small chance of getting other creation parts from characters other than him in the game. Like, maybe we'd be able to sub-create as a pseudo-guest character Tifa, or someone similar. So I see a high likelihood chance of that happening. But moving on to the second person that has a high likelihood of being in the game, and that is probably a two-parter, I want to say. So it was a widespread myth that Dante from Devil May Cry was going to be a guest character in the game before being scrapped for unknown reasons. However, there was no reliable source for this information, and the producer Hiroki Yotoriyama went on to deny it in an interview for Electronic Gaming Monthly. And we already talked about how them denying rumors and stuff doesn't actually necessarily mean anything. It's just that that's what has to be said based on NDAs and stuff like that. And I think Dante would be a good choice, but I think a better choice would be Nero. I know Dante is kind of like the face, or he was the face of the Devil May Cry franchise, but ever since the Devil May Cry, like, that other weird game where he was like totally changed and stuff that people say is non-canon, I feel like favor has not really fallen from original Dante as much, because he has had bad games too. It's not like all of the Devil May Cry games were awesome. But since 4, I really got back into it, and I love Nero. And I think since he's the main character, well, he's the main of 3, but he's like one of the main characters of Devil May Cry 5, I think he would make a good choice as well, mainly because of his arm. His Devil Bringer would add a lot more gameplay value, and obviously he has his Devil Trigger for his critical edge, or for his soul boost or whatever, but I think that would be equal to Dante. So I think him or Dante could be fine. There's not too many gun wielders in the game, and I don't know how they would use that. They wouldn't be able to do rapid fire with Ebony and Ivory also. So it would be easier for Nero to use his Devil Bringer just for like a grab, or like for certain punching attacks, like his uppercut or something. But Dante would pretty much have to just use his sword, and Nero, I think, has a more of a range for gameplay that they can fit into a moveset. I know Dante does too, and he was also, I think, in that PlayStation game. But Dante or Nero, you can give me my choice, heads up, either one. I'm not sure who they would choose. I would guess that they would probably do Dante just because he is the face of Devil May Cry, but I'd be happy with Dante or Nero. And they also have a lot of weapons that they can use. There's a wide array of weapons at their disposal that both of them use throughout the games, and it's not just like the singular sword and the titular Ebony and Ivory pistols. There's a large amount, a vast amount of weapons that they can use. So that's one reason why I think that they would also be a second choice for a guest character for Project Soul to put in their game. And it would be good cross-promotion for the recent Devil May Cry 5 and maybe spike some interest from people that haven't really played that game. Because I'm not sure sales-wise how well it did in comparison to Devil May Cry 4 or the HD remake. But it would bring people over that are mainly fighting game fans or just Soul Calibur fans over to their franchise, so it would be good cross-promotion for them. And since there is precedent that they were in talks before about having them in the game, even though it was a rumor, quote-unquote, I think they can also bring that back up for now, since the games are just released together. And my last choice that I think would be a shoo-in for a guest character, and this is a character who hasn't had precedent before to be in talks with them, but it's a character that, I mean, most of us have been not really, I don't want to say wanting, but expecting to be a Soul Calibur guest for a long time. He's somebody that makes a lot of sense, and if you guys all know where I'm going with this, then you all know that I'm talking about Ryu Hayabusa. So Ryu Hayabusa, the titular ninja from the Dead or Alive series and his own Ninja Gaiden series, obviously would be a particularly awesome choice. He's got so many weapons, it's not even funny, and I think he would be a great character to bring back the ninja job or whatever, the assassin job from Soul Calibur 3, because of the fact that he uses the large kunai, he uses a wide array of swords. He uses different weapons like nunchaku, he uses bow and arrow, he uses a similar thing to Grieve Edges, he's got darts, he's got guns, he's got axes, he's got hammers, he's got sickles, he's got scythes, he's got tonfa, he's literally got almost every weapon from Soul Calibur that he uses himself. And I think even like with his staffs and his staves and stuff, like he even has a similar thing to like wave swords and dual wielding, and he's even got a great sword like that Siegfried would have. He would be a perfect character to wield Soul Edge or Soul Calibur, especially with what happened in his arm in Razor's Edge. He's got a lot of costume options that they can give us for create a character, and it's perfect for the setting and the period, so I think it would be awesome to put him into the game, and he would actually be on a guest list for desired characters for me, as well as like what I think should probably be in the game and what they might choose in the game. So I think Ryu Hayabusa has a strong likelihood, but I think he has a less likelihood than either Dante or Cloud Strife. But I still think he comes in a solid third place with a strong chance of being iterated into the game. So, with that being said, guys, I want to turn the question over to you, and I want to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Which of these three characters do you think has a higher likelihood of being the guest character in Season Pass 3, or do you think it's going to be someone else? Any and all thoughts, drop them below, and I would love to get a conversation started, and we can continue it down below. Like I said before, I really appreciate you guys watching my videos. Thanks again for that. And if there's any ideas for videos you want me to do in the future, please drop them below as well. Thanks again for Kitty Meowser Gaming for allowing me to use her comment in the video, and please again go check out her channel. And as always, guys, peace.